Seems like they were a little bit meager on the defensive side, didn't have enough people to hit.
Well, oh my gosh, tackles.
Yeah. So get him healthy.
Good morning, everyone. I'll call our staff meeting of April 27th to order. We'll start with warrant review. Misty, anything of note? Do we have any questions on page 1? Page 2. Page 3. 4. 5. And 6 of 6. And then the airport. There's no questions. I'd look for a motion.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the warrants as presented.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Item 3 is to consider payroll distribution for May 2026. I'll call on Deb Otema, Sheridan County Financial Coordinator.
Good morning,
morning.
Madam Chair, Commissioners. Payroll will be for law enforcement May 1st as well as May 29th, accompanying airport and monthly. Thank you.
Would look for a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yeah, Commissioner Wright.
move to authorize and release the monies in order for the county clerk to complete the payroll distributions for the month of May in 2026.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, motion carries. Staff and elected reports. Good morning, Ken. Ken, Mark. Nothing? Sorry, I had you first on my list because you came in before Mark.
Morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Mark Reed, County Planner. Just real briefly, this must be the year of subdivisions. We've got 9 applications in the works, either scheduled or under review, and probably a potential for an equal number coming. So it's just like, wow. I've never seen this number of applications. So interesting. So that's what's keeping us busy for
Yeah.
sure. The statutory requirement on getting permits out in a specified time, or working through a pilot program to get that all in place, to get the permits reviewed for completeness within 10 days, and then getting notices out. And so we've got a spreadsheet built for that. Again, this only applies to structures that are less than 3,000 square feet. So it won't apply to all building permits. But anyway, just suffice to say, we've got a program, I think, in place that we're going to try to get it up and going well before the July 1st requirement. So anyway, if anybody's interested in seeing how that works, please come on up. We've got some pretty talented folks in our department. They're really good with spreadsheets, and a lot of it's automated, so it's going to be good. So that's all I've got.
Mark, do we
Yep.
have another application for an RV park up in Story?
No, we don't. The only one we've got, well, that was several months ago, I guess.
Yeah.
Was the Smith RV Park at Ladore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one. I saw the emails
Yeah.
regarding that, and I'm going, well, this is kind of late.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure
Okay.
why that. It
Okay.
was a delayed email, or
Yeah.
folks just heard about it, or whatever it was. But no, that was,
Okay.
like I say, that was approved several months ago. So
Any other questions for Mark?
thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Coco, anything this morning?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, I just want to let you guys know that assessments are going out in the mail today. So be prepared for that.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little heads up.
Okay. I saw we had the dates blocked out for the Board of Equalization meeting, so
Yes.
we'll see if we get any phone calls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope not, but.
Yeah. Okay.
And Madam Chair, just in follow-up to that, that would be July 27th and 28th, Monday and Tuesday. And I'm just waiting to hear from Mike and Holly if those dates will work for you guys. For your calendars, you'll see emails on that.
Madam Chair, Clerk Thompson, I'll look at mine just as soon as we get finished with the meeting.
Sounds good. And then did anybody disagree that we could get it all done in 2 days based on what we've done in the past?
Yeah, that seems like plenty of time.
I certainly hope it's 0 days, but yeah, we'll see.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
Ida, I did reply to yours this morning, your email. Yeah, I'm good with the dates.
Thank you.
Anything, Misty? Deb, anything else?
No, Madam Chair.
Clerk Thompson, anything for us this morning?
Yes. Madam Chair, just a quick reminder, looking at our fiscal year 26-27 budget timeline, tomorrow is April 28th, the date for requested budgets to be submitted to the county clerk, and I'm happy to report we've been seeing several already, of course. But tomorrow is the deadline for that. And then key election dates for elections. Just wanted to remind voters that the last day to declare or change your party affiliation is May 13th at 5 p.m. Because of the new law that states that needs to be done before filing starts, which is the following day. Filing around the state of Wyoming begins May 14th and goes through May 29th. So just a reminder on those 2 dates. And then we have an item coming before your consideration on May 5th to move a polling place location. A lot of work has gone into this by our GIS, Richard Immel. I'm very thankful to him for looking at District Precinct 4-2. Their current polling place is what we used to call Water Products. Then it became Vulcan. And unfortunately, we were not aware, but the owner did sell everything. So the building that once housed Vulcan Collision and Coatings, which has been our polling place for quite a while, did sell. It's been remodeled, and in talking to the new owner and the 3 new leases, there's no longer a place for a polling. There's no longer space for a polling location. It's been remodeled into small cubicles and things like that. That was an open lobby before. So we find it necessary for public convenience that this polling place be moved. We did reach out to quite a long list, including Ramada Hotel and different places, individual businesses, trying to find somewhere as close as possible to move this polling location. We ended up not finding anything. So we started reaching out to our current polling locations, and both Calvary Baptist and the Rock Church, both located on Bighorn Avenue, were willing to help us. So Richard made us a great map, and if you don't mind, I'll stand up and show you. It's very colorful. It's very colorful. Okay, so here's 4-2. See how long it is? Yep. Okay, Vulcan is right here. Excuse me. Formerly Vulcan is right here. So Richard made a red dot, and we're moving it to the Rock. Because the majority of the people live in the north end, Richard went back and looked at census block population numbers. It made the most sense to move here. In the past, we have tried Bethesda, but we've gotten a lot of complaints because that's a long way for the majority of your people to drive down to Bethesda. So that's our recommendation. That's what we need to consider on May 5th. And so as you look at this map, if you have any questions, let me know. That will be the big change. It will be in the press today and next Monday. We have notified the party chairman at our April 20th meeting in person. We met with our party chairman and of the Democrats and Republicans and talked about it. We've also sent out over 700 letters to the current voters that this would affect in District Precinct 4-2. So this is just information for you ahead of May 5th. And as you think about it, or if you have questions, you know, we have time to reach out and look at that. Interesting that Bethesda was 2.6 miles away, and the Rock is only 3,840 feet. So that really helped us make that decision on where to go. And we did consider the courthouse, I'll just have you know, but we really don't have room. And we really question whether we should have polling locations at the courthouse when that's the headquarters of elections on elections day. I do have a security team that I meet with, which is the sheriff, Jesse Lukowski, emergency management. We're involving Eric as our building guy, and just looking at all things considered. We're also Mark Ramber's also part of that. We've in the process also reviewed our mail protocol. There is some concerns that we need to be aware, and as we sort the mail and where we're opening the mail. So kind of back to what happened 2 years ago in watching for bad actors and bad mail. So we're reviewing that with my staff. My staff is the one that sorts all the mail for the entire courthouse. We sort it in the mailroom downstairs. We open all the county clerk mail in that room and have been since 2 years ago. That has not stopped. So we'll continue that process should anything be nefarious or look strange. We have called Steve in the past. That's our courthouse deputy. He determines if 911 needs to be called. So we're reviewing all of that again. And the odd things that we have received in the past 2 years were determined not to be 911 situations, but they were definitely bad actors and kind of weird stuff going on with our mail to the county clerk, which tends to be what we see across the country in some targeting of some election officials. So we're just continue that process, continue to train and be prepared the best that we can, knowing that on election day we have absentee ballots to open. So the next concern that we are looking at is we do not want absentee ballots opened in the election vault anymore, because that is headquarters on election day. So should there be anything bad actors with absentee ballots themselves when they are opened, we're going to have to do that in a separate room. So we're looking at all of that, and the recommendation is to do absentee ballots in here on election day. So I'm thankful that Kelly and I have already worked together to move your board meetings from that Tuesday to the next Wednesday. So those are already scheduled as such, so that this room is available for us to then have the absentee counting board in here. It'd be a easier place to shut down, and I know that Eric and the sheriff are looking at venting systems and things like that. Should there be something that floats in the air, how much of the courthouse would have to be shut down and that kind of thing. So just a lot of good people on our team here at the county, and very thankful to all of these folks, and relying on their wisdom and recommendations on how to continue forward with this next election. So I think that's all I have.
Madam Chair. Yeah. Clerk Thompson, I appreciate all the work you're putting into this. Just a clarification question. Are you saying that our board meeting that's typically on a Tuesday will be moved to a Wednesday?
That is correct. So we've done that in past years, where the Tuesday meeting, depending on the calendar, of course, some calendar years it doesn't matter, and other calendar years your election and my election and your board meeting are on the same day, which we always move because they can't be in two places at once. So out of courtesy for election day, we don't have board meetings on those days when the calendar aligns that way. So it will be the Wednesday.
Madam Chair, and I completely understand why you're doing it. I just wonder how that goes with the state statute that says our meetings must be on Tuesday.
I would leave that up to your legal counsel. Just because this is what we've done in the past doesn't mean it's right. Correct, Clint? So But this is what we have done in the past, and your county clerks around the state usually request that if they fall on the same day that they be moved. So I guess that could be looked into further by.
I just wanted to bring it up. just in
Absolutely.
case.
Absolutely. And I don't have the answer for that, so I apologize.
Okay. Thank you, Ida. Jesse?
Good morning, Commissioners. Jesse, Emergency Management.
I don't think that's on.
You know what? We need new batteries. It went red. It was green. One moment. I'm sorry.
We need some Jeopardy music to play while we're waiting.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
This might be a moment for me to update you. I've been working with IT to try to get the recordings to be a better. The audio on the videos is turned to crap, and we're hardly able to. No one has been really able to transcribe them now. So we're trying to figure out what happened. How come the video recording is so bad that we can no longer transcribe it? My worry is that these go right to the website, and just as an example, MDU has been transcribing in the past right from our website past meetings, and so I want that to still be a good quality recording that can be transcribed, because we quit doing the audio. We thought the video was the answer. So IT disconnected and turned off all the microphones in the ceiling. We're now back to just the microphones in front of you and at the podium to see if that will resolve the issue.
Okay. Thank you for that update. Jesse?
Good morning, Commissioners. Just wanted to remind everybody that on Thursday we do have the Storm Spotter class that's taking place at the Watt Ag building, 5 to 7 p.m. We ask people to pre-register, so we just have enough chairs, but it's not required by any means. So, so we partnered there with the extension office, and hopefully you can help to get the word out. We published it on Facebook and things like that. So it's a great 2-hour class put on by the National Weather Service. They do have the meteorologists come down and present that class, and then once you're finished, they give you a storm spotter certificate and a super secret phone number to call if you see something suspicious. So it's all part of the process. So there's no minimum age requirements. Like, you don't have to, you can bring teenagers and stuff. It's kind of dependent on if you think that a child can sit for 2 hours and actually gain anything from it. So if you have a child that's maybe in, high school or something like that, that might be interested in this class, feel free to pass that information along to them also. So any questions for me? All right. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Jesse. Dr. Bird? No. Renee? Robert?
Morning, Robert Gill, Sheridan County Airport Manager. Just wanted to pass along. I did get a notice from a leasee on in regards to lease termination, coming from Roco Inc. They've got a say-so agreement, and they lease out the maroon building that's at the entrance of the business park. Looking at leaving the premises May 31st. So just wanted to give a heads up there. Also, another item I wanted to bring up or discuss, I currently have an RFP out for it's called Building Number 5 up at the airport. It's the old FedEx building. And with that RFP, proposals are due May 7th. I have gotten a handful of questions in regard to our another premises up there with a holdover tenant that I haven't been able to move forward on leasing out, and getting a request to delay the RFP for building number 5, just so it's clear what options are out there. I think it's fair to do so. I just wanted to see if there's any feedback on doing that.
Madam Chair. Robert, do you have any idea on a timeline of delay? How long you might want to delay that for?
I would look at delaying the RFP probably to the first week of June, so pushing it back a month.
Yeah, Robert, I don't have any issues with that. I would go with your recommendation.
Hoping there's a little bit more clarity for everybody up there come that first week in June.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I'd like to do. So that's all I've got, unless there's any questions.
Okay,
All right,
sounds
thank
good.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Amy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. Appreciate a chance to chat with you today. I brought some handouts. They are not official. I did create them in Canva, but Arette is working on the CAD versions for me, and as soon as I get those, I will send those as well. But I just wanted to give you an idea of where we're at. The pretty colored one with the numbers, these are our construction zones. We did start zone 1 last week. We began with the Children's Theater, and at first the jackhammering to take down the concrete brick walls was not too bad, so we kept the children's area open. But when we got to the floor, it was pretty noisy, so we went ahead and shut down the children's area. We dropped that fire door, which is the dark black line there, and we started bringing children's items out into where you see number 3. So we're bringing as much of the collection out that's really high circulating that we can, and we're starting to pack up the collection to get the shelves empty. The children's area should go pretty quickly, but the children's theater is where we're going to have to rebuild a flat floor. That children's theater is going to get a sliding glass door that will allow it to open up into the children's area, as well as new ceiling and lighting and paint. And so that will take the longest, but the children's area just needs carpet and some new furniture and paint. And so that will be done fairly quickly. And then they'll move on to zone 2, which is the blue area. That will take a little bit longer, but I don't have exact dates yet. We expect the children's area to be reopened by summer reading program launch, which is about mid-June. And then zone 2, probably 8 weeks or so, 8 to 10 weeks. And then zone 3, about another 8 to 10 weeks. And then they would move on to the Wyoming room probably about September, October. We have to get zone 1, 2, and 3 done by the end of September, beginning of October, so that we can wrap up the grant part, because zone 4 would be funded through donations, some of which we already have via the Reddington Fund. So once I get exact dates for all those zones, which Van Ewing is working on right now, I will send updates on those and post them on our website. And then the second handout you have is our current layout of things. Again, this is not a CAD drawing. It's based on a CAD drawing, so it's pretty close, but it's just the layout of the shelving, kind of illustrating where the teen zone is going to be, how we're shifting fiction and nonfiction, and the new location of the reference desk, and sort of how things are going to be laid out. So I just wanted to make sure you saw these things as they're getting ready to go up on the website. Once the budget is finished and turned in, this will be ready to go up there. And wanted to know if you had any questions.
Any questions for Amy?
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Amy, I'm just wanted to thank you. I'm coming for the meeting with you this week, right?
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you for getting us these plans, because there's a couple of things that I'm like, where's that going to go and where's that going to go? So I think it'll be really helpful to look at it and then see it. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm happy to walk anyone around and tour. We are reusing existing shelving and just cutting it down based on the shelving we actually use. You notice probably some of it is too high. So,
Any other questions? Okay,
right,
thanks.
thanks.
Thank you.
Kimber? Kelly? Excuse me. Are you back there?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Cameron? Oh, Commissioner Jennings?
I don't think I have anything.
No, nothing today.
Nope, Madam Chairman, I'm just still recuperating. Have a doctor's appointment Friday. Hopefully get something on my neck that allows me to drive a car. Then I'll be happier camper.
Commissioner
Nothing today.
Just a note that I will be out Wednesday at a conference in Casper, and then joint appropriations in Rollins Thursday, Friday. All right, moving on to item 5. Consider Sheridan County Master License Agreement M2602 with Allison Cook. I'll call in Ken Muller, County Engineer.
Yeah, good morning, Chairman. Is this working? Yeah. Yeah, this is a master license for Mrs. Cook. She wants Saws Water across Beaver Creek Road. She lives on the south side.
Okay,
Got nothing to really add to that.
pretty straightforward. Any questions? I'd ask for a motion. There are no questions. Oh,
Is it on? No,
I think
the
it's
green
on.
light's on. That
I don't know. Hear it.
still don't hear you? Hear me?
Can you not hear, Harry? Huh.
Madam Chair.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
I guess just get closer.
Is that better?
There you go.
God, you gotta put my. I might rub my lips raw.
Yeah, Commissioner Arce, did you have a motion for me?
I do. Madam Chair, I move to approve and authorize the chair to sign Sheridan County Master License Agreement M26-02 with Allison Cook.
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Item 6 is for a Sheridan County License Agreement 2609 LA with Allison Cook for board crossing installation of saws. Yeah, County Road 87, Beaver Creek Road. Same thing.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to approve and authorize the chair to sign Sheridan County License Agreement 2609 LA with Allison Cook for board crossing installation of saws water tap at County Road number 87, aka Beaver Creek Road.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Item 7 is consideration of Sheridan County License Agreement 2610 LA with MDU for a board crossing installation of underground power at County Road 109, aka McCormick Road. Calling Ken Muller.
Yeah, Madam Chair, this is a license agreement for them to put power for a recently approved subdivision the county approved. They need to cross McCormick Road to get power to that subdivision.
Madam Chair, move to approve and authorize the chair to sign Sheridan County License Agreement 2610 LA with MDU for board crossing installation of underground power line at County Road number 109, also known as McCormick Road.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Our next one up is the Sheridan County License Agreement 2611 LA with MDU, this time for Midland Road.
Yeah, Madam Chair, this is again MDU's boring a primary electric crossing. This is a replacement. They have a failed line in there now, so this is for a replacement. Thus, there's no fee under exemption C. So, don't have any other particulars.
Any questions?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner?
I move to approve and authorize the chair to sign Sheridan County License Agreement 2611 LA with MDU for board crossing installation of underground power line at County Road 80, also known as Midland Road or West 15th Street.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken. And our last item is a Conservation District quarterly update.
Looky there.
Carrie, you know you can just come in when you get here.
I'm out there listening.
Thank you.
Morning.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna start preaching the gospel. I have my collar here. One of these. Yeah.
That's a serious gospel too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Carrie Rogaszewski, Sheridan County Conservation District, with Andrew Cassidy from USDA Natural Resource Conservation Service, and just here to give our quarterly update. As always, we appreciate the funding and other support that we receive from the commissioners. So since we came in January, several projects that were either completed or are under construction or construction pending. Several stockwater irrigation infrastructure through a variety of federal and state grant sources. A few fire mitigation projects, again, in various either completed with payments pending invoices or me receiving grant checks or under construction. Again, variety of funding sources for those. We were successful with 8 applications through the state small water project program through the Wyoming Water Development Office. We don't have the contracts yet because that's all still in process, waiting for the state to give us the contracts so we can contract with those landowners. But including 5 stockwater projects, 1 bank stabilization, including some of the funds for the potential stabilization project on Tongue River near Cleanburn, and a few couple irrigation infrastructure. We, in addition to the stream stabilization project there on Tongue River and Cleanburn, working on a couple of other requests that we've received and trying to generate the funding for those. We've submitted some grant applications, and some of those pieces are still in the air. Those I treat separately than the ones up above, just because they aren't something that we typically fund through the grants that we have on a regular basis. They require us going out and requesting specific funds. So the stream stuff is generally is separate. We are gearing up for our water quality monitoring this year. Will be on the Prairie Dog Creek watershed. So that will be kicking off in mid-May will be when our first sampling is. We do not have any additional fire-related monitoring this year, just because we don't have the funding to do it. That being said, there are a couple of landowners that have asked for some individual samples, so I will be going and taking those, but they won't be part of a broader monitoring program. But just trying to, I guess, help with their curiosity and mine a little bit too, but just to see kind of how things fare this year. As we've talked about in the past, and Andrew will talk about this a little bit more, through some efforts that we did through the Conservation District, we were able to submit and receive some specific USDA funding earmarked for areas in the Tongue River watershed from the town of Ranchester up through the town of Dayton, and some in the Goose Creek watershed, with the sub-watersheds in and around the municipal intakes. And so we have at least one of those projects underway on the Goose Creek, and then Andrew has a few more requests that he'll talk about in his current pool that we expect to have some funding for this year. As I've mentioned before, we were not successful in the feasibility study through this Water Development Office for that Alliance lateral ditch, which you guys submitted a letter of support for us for. But we are still working with the City of Sheridan and USDA on a potential project through the USDA Watershed Protection Program. So it's our understanding that they'll be out here this summer to start the initial investigations, but we don't have anything more detailed than that at this time. On the Acme Power Plant, we did have a public meeting in April, which seemed to go well. Holly was there, and I appreciate that. We did release the bid packages in March, and we had 17 firms participate in the mandatory bid tour. So that means 17 firms are eligible to submit bids. Whether they all will or not, we don't know, but there are 17 that will be eligible to submit those bids. That deadline is April 30th, and we expect to award that in early May. So hopefully in the next couple of months, I say hopefully, but it's not really hopefully because it's also very sad. But we'll start to see that building come down, which is the only option for moving forward to address that asbestos in there. So again, bittersweet a bit, but it'll still be kind of exciting to kind of close that loop on that. We did, along with that bid tour, we did do a building walkthrough with some staff from the museum and some other members of the working group to just make sure that there's nothing in there that's of historical significance or interest. You know, there's still a lot of just nasty stuff in there, but trying to kind of pick apart and see. And we did grab a few things that will be turning over to the museum at some point if it's something they're interested in, either now or in the future. But we do expect that full demolition, which will include the cleanup of the soil hotspots, to be this summer. So with on kind of switching gears on the outreach side with that Working Lands Collaborative that we provide the coordination and administrative support for, our next Ranchers Night Out will be May 7th at Tongue River Brewing, and we're going to kind of focus the initial topic leading into discussion, be kind of highlighting the invasive grass and that kind of work that, again, Andrew will touch on. It's 10 years since kind of some of that work started here in Sheridan County again, so that'll be an interesting timing for that. We do have a 2-day workshop in the fall as part of a partnership with some other collaboratives in Montana. They reached out to us with an opportunity to kind of join in on I don't call it a road tour, but for 2 kind of renowned speakers in the regenerative ag and soil health kind of world that we're going to be in the area, and we'll have them for a 2-day workshop, and then they'll also be hitting some other spots in Montana for similar workshops, and so that just helps us keep that cost. We can kind of bulk some of that, so that'll be fun, and that'll be September 24th and 25th. With the fire recovery, I mentioned we're not planning any specific monitoring this year. We do have a little of at one time I'd reported to you that we'd obligated all the funds we had for some short-term mitigation work, but because of a combination of some coming in under budget and one project deciding not to move forward, we have a little return money that we can then we could obligate to some projects, and we're trying to follow up on a couple of old requests to see if they might be interested in that. And then we are working, if you recall, last summer we did, or last fall, I guess, spring and fall, we were working with Steady Stream Hydrology on a kind of an overhead view or a desktop analysis of kind of some priority areas or areas that maybe need to be looked at a little more closely. And so while we don't have specific funding dedicated to moving on to that next step yet, we are kind of I'm working with her on looking at areas that we may want to get out to in the field this summer to just kind of take a look and see what the concerns might be, what the potential for some long-term preventative work might be, and again, just trying to chase some additional grant funding to do that. We did get the turbidity sensors purchased last year, and at least the 2 on Wolf Creek and Tongue River Canyon, I know are operational, and you can view the data on the State Engineer's Office portal. I need to confirm with the city of Sheridan. I know theirs was hooked up, but they were having some issues with some of the communication pieces of it at one time, but it might be operational now as well. And if you recall, the district purchased those through a grant that we had, but the staff from the State Engineer's Office, DEQ, and the city of Sheridan did the installs and will be maintaining and operating those. And then I will, at this point, turn it over to Andrew for the USDA update.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's nice snowy morning. As much snow as we've seen all year. Not quite. Thanks for the opportunity. Really appreciate the opportunity to give you an update on kind of where we're headed for the year. In the hangover from government shutdown last fall, we were slow starting our program year. And so just last week, they've pre-approved our initial batch of EQIP program funding. We're anticipating 29 agreements with landowners in the county, about $4.2 million. I think that's more in a single year than we've ever done. Statewide, they're anticipating more money than we've had it ever in my awareness, and I think probably ever. Just seems to keep going up. I think 42 million for the state was kind of what we were initially earmarked. Those are projects that will commence probably midsummer. A few of them may get started a little earlier, but mostly kind of looking towards summer and fall. I went through and gave you some layout there on project types. Invasive annual grasses continues to be a big part of that. We're 10 years into that effort. It was summer of 2016 when we realized we had bentonata here in the county, rediscovered. It was initially recorded on the old Fort McKenzie National Guard training area in the late 90s, but without a lot of information or context. And then in that same summer, discovered there was Medusa head in the county. So, July the 7th will be a field tour. I don't have any details on that, but save the date if you're able to join us. That'd be wonderful. Kind of doing a big tent show sort of those efforts. See it in both of those species in the field, and see kind of the treatment and where we think we're headed in the next 10 years. Thinking as a working group actively towards how do we transition from something that is new and different to something that we know is there and we need to continue to work on. We are anticipating maybe a few more applications. The regenerative agriculture pilot program is a big USDA push this year, and there's quite a bit of money there. There will be some left over, and so we're anticipating a second round of funding there. Irrigation infrastructure, or specifically on-field application efficiency, sprinklers and that sort of thing, has continued to be a demand point that isn't well met in our funding. And I'm hopeful maybe we can sort of adapt some of those with willing landowners. So anyway, happy to answer any questions, but thanks very much for the time.
Andrew, just looking at 1 in 11 irrigation applications were selected. Why is there? I mean, is it for those system upgrades? What pieces are missing from applicants in our area, or
why are we not funding them?
Yeah.
So a couple of things. Locally, that's a priority for us, and the initiative type funding that we get from Washington these days is pretty good for other things. It's not for irrigation for our area. The other piece that's happened this year is by direction from national headquarters, we substantially reduced our ranking pools statewide from dozens to 5. And so everything got mashed together. I anticipate in coming years there will be kind of a tune-up on what ranks relative to everything else. It seems like when we build one of those tools, we've got to run it one time I keep thinking of making sausage to see what comes out at the end. It's a big need and a big payoff for water conservation and for operational efficiency. I always think of the statistics about the average age of farmers and ranchers and the number of people per operation. Lots of times it's one person in their retirement years trying to run an operation sometimes. So anyway.
Andrew, I have a question on your invasive grass treatments. You do treatments. Our County Weed and Pest does treatments. How much of that is an overlap between you and the County Weed and Pest, or are most of those separate projects that the county does as opposed to what you do? How does that logistically
good
work?
Question, and an important distinction. Those are entirely parallel. There's almost no overlap. what we have done, the only place we've overlapped in recent years was last fall with Weed and Pest, where we had money committed to some landowners in the Elk Fire area, and as part of Weed and Pest's work, they were planning to do broad treatments across that fire area. And so to stretch their money a little further, we partnered with them to use our money first and then make up the difference with their money. But yeah, largely, I mean, entirely separate. We coordinate closely to make sure that we're not overlapping and that we're strategizing, prioritizing areas that need treatment, and you know, if something that wouldn't get picked up with our program, then we try to get it in the Weed and Pest program, that sort of thing. But yeah, entirely parallel, driving towards the same goals, but keeping money very separate.
Okay. Thank you.
And Andrew, I mean, everybody's, is there pretty good participation in Imagine?
Yes, and pushing statewide. They have a coordinator in the Bighorn Basin these days. That's, I think, has really been big. The new focus area for Imagine and our invasive grasses working group is in southeast Johnson County, southeast of Lynch, kind of on the 3-county border there. There's they've found a population there and are working hard to smash that out.
Wow.
I don't know
Yeah.
how it got there. I hope it's very distant from anything else, and it's not just a scatter down the
Right,
foot.
yeah.
But, yeah, that's and looking at the maturation of that group and how we continue to present the need and maintain funding streams to do that work. The USDA Regional Conservation Partnership Program is kind of a earmarked pool of funding that we have talked about going after again. If I think what we've kind of discussed is if we were to do that, it would be for all of Northeast Wyoming or maybe all of the state, with some nested priority areas to try to address anything like that population at Lynch that is outside of our known area. And then as money allows, once we've done those things, then work kind of in there.
Madam Chair, can you say the name of that group again? Imagine something?
So Imagine is the University of Wyoming's program. It's a clearinghouse database. Andrew can probably describe it better.
Yeah, I think it falls in the institute, and it's an acronym.
As he said, it's an acronym. Yeah.
He's trying to imagine. Yes, right.
Invasive grass is in there somewhere.
Invading native ecosystems is INE at the end.
Is there management in there somewhere with the M?
I'm sure there.
I will Google it.
Yeah.
Okay, for the minutes, I will Google it.
Invasivegrasses.org.
Okay, there you go, Miss. You've got to Google the acronym.
.com.
Okay.
Well, and I forgot to mention just Andrew talking about kind of the way their program is this year. We do, if you recall, and I just sent you, I think, an email to you last week, the Sheridan Local Work Group meeting will be later this May. I guess it's almost this month. But that's the opportunity for Sheridan folks to inform the state on what our priorities are, so then that can be factored into next year's ranking criteria and pools and all of that. So that's what the purpose of that meeting, that annual meeting is trying to forward think to the next year on what the priorities
I saw that. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's right in the middle of our budget meetings.
I understand. It's just that's when we could get our
Yeah.
state person here, and that was just so we understand.
get
But
it.
certainly in the meantime, if you can't make the meeting but you have things you want to share, like maybe irrigation is a huge priority for you, make sure we know those things and we can forward that information on.
Okay. Great.
Madam Clerk, I have it. Institute for Managing Annual Grasses Invading Natural Ecosystems.
Oh, what did we do before?
Thank
Google?
God for Google, you know?
No, I don't know how we survived.
Right. Well, thank you both for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And
Always
as
good to
always,
see
reach
you.
out if we didn't cover something.
Okay. Thank you. All right. And with that, we are adjourned at 9:49.